welcome to the Amber Shows. Happy Tuesday. Let's get down right to our business, to our entertainment and our news, because I have a lot and I'll probably be cut off and have to do a part two. But, okay, let's talk about first LaGuardia Airport in New York. I'm a New Yorker. I'm sure many of you have flown into LaGuardia before. If you've ever come to New York, and that's the main airport as far as commercial travel and more international travel, you come in through JFK or Newark. So LaGuardia Airport is so bad now that it's going to be completely replaced. It's so bad that Vice President Joe Biden, he famously quipped that it felt like a third world facility. Biden has joined Governor Andrew Cuomo to announce that they are going to do an expensive plan for LaGuardia Airport that will actually replace it with a single terminal. If you've been to LaGuardia, you know you got to go through all these different terminals. If you're on Delta, if you're on American, Pan Am, wherever you are. So they're going to make one single terminal and move its boundaries further from Flushing, New York. Also, New York has it will be the newest major. LaGuardia Airport will be the newest major airport in the United States. The billion-dollar plan appears to be in the making right now. The airport will also have connections to rail and ferry services. I'm not talking about the subway services. Cuomo said he wants to build a new train line, not part of the New York City subway system. It will most likely be ready by 2019, half of it, and everything will be completed as soon as 2021. So in between that time, JFK and Newark Airport will pick up most of the slack. Also, racists came in droves in Georgia this past weekend, where a black family was giving a 3-year-old birthday party out in a park. Racists came in trucks and cars with Confederate flags, screaming racial epithets. The black people from the party started screaming back at the racists, and they got into big confrontations. Police were called before anything went to blows. The Confederate flag racist people circled the park in their trucks, and they had their flags right out in the open. There was quite a bit of confrontation. I heard black people on the tape saying, yeah, we know who you are, we'll see you again. I don't know where this is going to go, but this is absolutely ridiculous. You heard the mothers saying that they, at the party, and the aunties and all the women, they were all screaming like, this is a child's birthday party, why are you doing this? And they did not care. So this is in Douglasville, Georgia, just so you know. So next thing, true crime writer. I love true crime. I was in college for criminal law. I love mysteries and crime stories, and I like true crime, like 48 Hours, investigative discovery, things like that. Well, I used to read Ann Rule's books all the time. Ann Rule was a famous true crime author. I loved her. I have all of her books, and I still have them. As a matter of fact, I might start reading some over again. I like to read good books twice, 2 or 3 times. You always get something different out of it each time you read it. She also is the one who is famous for writing about Ted Bundy, who she actually had worked with, and that nobody knew, of course, that he was a serial killer. The Stranger Beside Me. If you get a chance, read that book, where she actually knew Ted Bundy as a human being before even though inside his mind he was a serial killer. And also Small Sacrifices. She wrote the book, which was really good, about this lady who she tried to kill all 3 of her children and then blame it on someone who had, her car had stopped and a person just came in and killed the kids. She shot all 3 of her children, one who did die and 2 did end up living. In China, it was a terrible video, if you get a chance to pull it up on YouTube. Chinese lady saved her child's life. I mean, you know, it's just second to nature. She actually was coming up an escalator, and the escalator was defective. She had been told when she got to the middle of the escalator that it was defective, which it was too late. She's carrying her one-year-old child, and what she does is the escalator at the top actually begins to descend and crumble, and she was able to take her child and throw her child over that part onto the platform to where they would have been going up to had the escalator continued, and she fell through the drop and was crushed to death down below. So, and it's all on film that and it's very hard to see, but she saved her baby. She saw what was happening. Also, Bobby Christina, again, we know that she has gone on and passed away. Went out of that body that was no longer any good for her. She's being buried with right next to her mom. What happens to the money? Well, $2 million of it she had already been given, so that will go to her dad. The rest goes back into the trust fund and will be distributed most likely between Sissy and that horrible, horrible Pat Watson, who wants to pretend like she's Pat Houston. Also, for you Android people, the Androids have been hacked. So there's a text video where they can get they actually will send you a text video, the hackers, and whether you open it or not, they now have all of your information, your cameras, your text messages, your emails, everything. They will be able to see all of your pictures. They actually will be able to track your every move. Google owns Android. The real fix is going to have to come through the manufacturers, so you need to call your Google services or contact Google services to find out about the hacking of your phone. Us iPhone users, good news. It's not happening with us. All right, a tree fell on a lady while she was in her bed, sound asleep in Florida. She's like not a 5,000-pound tree, and it actually pinned her, but where she was sleeping, only a part of a small branch, which did hold her down, where they had to get her out of that situation. The fire department had to cut it away, but it did not crush her. The whole trunk of the tree just missed her by just millimeters, and it was how she was laying. It happened at 12 midnight. Just a whole tree came through her bedroom and laid on her bed, 5,000 pounds. 2 boys are missing here in Florida. Haven't been seen alive since last Friday. They're lost in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Florida. Both boys are 14. The boat that they were in was found capsized. They are both trained sea people. They are trained with boats. They're trained swimmers. Their parents have all the hope that they can and the faith that these boys are somewhere, maybe floating on a device. Maybe they were able to get their cooler out and are floating on it. Maybe they have their life jackets on. One life jacket was found inside the boat, but it's not sure whether maybe there were 3 life jackets in the boat and they have on one or the other. But they're continuously, planes are going around, circling all through the Atlantic, where the Atlantic Ocean over around this area in Florida, and hopefully that they will be found alive. All right, also I wanted to talk about CECIL. CECIL is a lion that is in Zimbabwe. He's very famous. You know, there are very few lions left in the world, and tigers, because of poachers. Because of poachers, there are actually almost less than 300 Bengal tigers alive in the world. And the same with lions. It's becoming extinct because of all the poachers. Well, CECIL the lion, who's in Zimbabwe, he is in a national park where visitors come to specifically see him when they ride through the parks. He was known to be people friendly. You don't get up on him because he's a wild animal. But he was a beautiful, massive lion. If you go online, look him up. A poacher, actually, his name has been identified. CECIL was just recently killed. He was shot with a bow and arrow, and then he was shot in the head, and then he was skinned, and he was beheaded. This is a horrible thing that has happened. Everyone in Zimbabwe is very upset. Cecil was a known attraction. People loved him. He never bothered anyone. He was beloved by everyone that came in contact with him or had to feed him or groom him or take care of him. And he seemingly enjoyed the people's contact. It's really a shame. He paid this dentist, Walter Palmer from Minnesota. He actually paid $35,000 to two of the natives there to get them to actually get Cecil to come. They baited Cecil. They actually put some food and things far away from the park and late at night, and Cecil actually came, and then they shot him with bow and arrows, and then they beheaded him and skinned him. This guy, I hope that he is going to be punished for this. These poachers, this has got to stop. It's a horrible and cruel thing that's happened. And look up Cecil, beautiful, big, massive lion. Really a shame. You know, rich people, they're surrounded by other rich people. So they think America is actually richer than it is. Economic segregation of the poor and rich children, because they attend different schools. Rich and poor people, their parents shop in different stores. Their families rely on separate amenities, whether parks, trains, community pools. The rich are less likely to support programs for the poor. They think poverty is rare because if they look around themselves, they don't see poor people in their streets or in their classrooms or in their grocery stores. Poverty to them is very rare and far away. The community we see around us shapes our sense of how rich America is, and those perceptions in turn influence how we feel about government policy for the poor. And this is so true. This is what happens this is what's happening even with racism. If you're in an all-white area and you just know all white people and you went to all-white school and everybody was racist, wherever you were around, your parents, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents, and you never step out of that environment that you live in, and then when you are confronted with black people or something, or other races, Spanish or Chinese or whatever, you have a racist ideology about them already off the jump, and you can't be turned around because this was your environment your whole time. Tyrese, I know all the ladies know who Tyrese is. Very handsome. Started out to be a model. Now he's an actor. He's in the action movies. Well, he has made a song, and I love it. He can actually sing. It's a beautiful song, and I was wondering if he was singing it to someone, but I guess he is, because it's called Shame. If you get a chance, go on YouTube and listen to Shame, even look at the lyrics. It's about a story of a man who is so ashamed that he cheated on his woman. I think that we have all been cheated on, and we have all cheated in our lifetimes at one time or another. And I believe that this is something that you would want to hear somebody say to you, or you would want to say to somebody if you had remorse about it and lost the love of your life because of it. So listen to the record. It's really beautiful, and support him. And it's by Tyrese, and it's called Shame. It really touches your heart. What's wrong with people? Oh my God, where do you get pleasure from this? I think that animal abusers were abused themselves. It would have to be that way. This guy in Florida, he just was sentenced to a year in jail for running over baby ducklings with his lawnmower intentionally. He mowed over 9 baby ducklings. And he said that they were in his path, so he just kept on moving. And it's just ridiculous that people can be so cruel in this world. I don't know what's going on. All right, you guys, I want you to have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming to the Amber Shows, and I will get back to you again soon with more news. I like to give you interesting and different news that you might not necessarily hear during the day. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye.